Andy, you're empty nesting it again, I think. But I don't know, something weird about your view today. You look like I can see more gray today. I mean, you're
It's
not
it's it's
coloring
it's the light
anymore.
on my dome, Dave. I'm recording a different location, trying some things out here, so a little bit different than usual, but not quite empty nesting. My youngest son is back at school. My wife and I made the trip down to Florida and back over the last 4 days. It was a great opportunity to get him back down to school. He's doing great. My wife and I did 4 6 hour drives, 7 hour drives over the last few days, but delivered our son successfully. And our oldest son is still at home as he prepares for his journey into the Army. So not quite fully empty nesting yet. But Dave, we're not here to talk about my family, although we have to come back and talk about my trip as my wife experienced one of America's greatest experiences on this trip. But I think we've got something really special today. So what's going on here?
Yeah, so again, last week I talked about like I'm trying to cut those last pounds, right? So I was January, I think I was like 225, 226. I got down 7 pounds real quickly, 8 pounds real quickly, plateaued out. Then like went up a little. So last Monday I was at 219. And again, I got back into the gym. So some of that is a little muscle. I can account for some of that, but a lot of it was around the belly, really not into that.
Not, not muscle, not
I
muscle.
got no, not muscle. And I got a wedding in a couple weeks to get to. And so I'm trying to get those last 7, 8, 9 pounds down to about 210, 211. So I started 219 last week. I'm at 217.2 this week.
Nice,
But
nice,
I went down almost 2 pounds,
nice.
but I was down a little bit more in the middle of the week. But so I went up. The weekend is a little tough, right? But a couple things I didn't do like a huge cheat meal, like, just where I gorged all the time. I tried to stay focused and I brought some protein powder, got some protein shakes in. But Andy, part of this was, hey, let's bring in some people from the community and see if they can give me some suggestions for helping me out these last couple pounds. I got still some work to do. So, Andy, you reached out to a couple people in the community.
I did, and Dave, I'm so grateful for our guest today. In a second, we're going to introduce Scott Sylvester. Scott's been a champion. We've talked a lot about the Arnold Pump Club, and we often refer to the Arnold newsletters. Scott's been such a champion in that community, and we'll share on the social Scott's. I'll throw in my Instagram story Scott's handle if you want to check out like his journey and progress is awesome. I mean, really fantastic progress and so excited. And he's just a champion in encouraging and sharing and building people up. And so when I reached out for some folks to maybe join us, Scott jumped right in, and I'm so grateful. Besides maybe his most important attribute, which is that we share a common love for the Detroit Lions. But
Oh, Jesus.
that was just a benefit. That was a side benefit. But Scott, you're here. We're so glad that you're here. Thanks for all that you do to help encourage others and build them up. And you're again, really seriously, congratulations on all the progress you've made so far. I know you're still working hard and you still got goals as all of us shouldn't do, but you've been amazing. Do you just want to say sort of a little bit about who you are, introduce yourself to those that are listening today?
Well, hey, thanks for having me on, fellas. This is awesome. Um, I'm I'm 41 years old. You did a hell of a job introducing me already, but I'm a licensed physical therapist assistant. That's what I do. Or and I I am a huge Lions fan. In fact, I brought this for you.
I love this. If you're listening and not watching, Scott's got this incredible shirt of Jerry Goff and Amon-Ra St. Brown in schoolboy clothes. It looks
It's
awesome.
the
So I love it.
it's the step brothers
Step
photo.
Brothers.
Yes.
And obviously, I'm a huge Arnold Schwarzenegger fan, and he he did a hell of a lot for me. All that stuff you said, that good stuff you said for me, about me, I think Arnold helped bring that out of me over the last couple of years because he got me at my lowest low in my entire life.
Yeah.
Is where I Arnold kind of entered the picture for me again and helped me out with Arnold's Pump Club.
Yeah, I love
I
it.
had to go
Love
with
it.
this shirt. Yeah. So I'm a founding member of Arnold's Pump Club, and I believe you are too, right?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So and that's how we met, and I'm grateful for that because you have a hell of a story too. And in fact, some of my low points um, reading your story, what sticks out the most is yeah, I think you were working on going for like 12 or 15 mile ruck
Yeah, yeah.
when you were in the like in the worst of it, right? So and you're thinking about hitting like your old goals as from ranger training, and I'm just like I was blown away by that, and that really motivated me. So thank you.
Well, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. But you know, my stories, I think, that's one thing. But your progress has really been. I mean, are you comfortable saying like? I mean, just do you know how much you've lost? I mean, you've lost a ton of
Oh
weight.
yeah, it's at my worst I was 310 pounds when I was very sick at that time,
Yeah,
and I I ended up losing almost 70 pounds.
that's phenomenal, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And your pictures show. I mean, Scott's documented some of this journey on his Instagram profile. His weight loss pictures. I mean, it's incredible. I mean, you look great. And I mean, 70 pounds is you lost a young teenage boy. You know, that's
Yeah.
incredible. That's incredible. So I love it. I love what you've done. Thank you for the kind words. Really, this is about you and what you've done. Is I mean, Dave's trying to knock out these last few pounds. You've been on an incredible journey. So you shared a little bit about your fitness experience already, and you know where you are. And just before I turn things over to Dave a little bit, like where are you now, Scott? What are you trying to do now? What are your current goals as you push forward?
Well, like I said, I got very sick. I was at my lowest low about um around May or March of 2023.
Yeah,
That's when I was um at 310 and just at my lowest low. And it's been a hard tough road that like to get to this point.
yeah,
And for a majority of the time I was trying to lose weight. I was too weak to exercise. So um that's kind of what I wanted to talk about later, one of my tips. But I I'm at the point now where I'm doing a lot of rucking and
yeah.
walking and um and doing my pump exercises, you know. So I've come a long way. When I started, I was on a walker. I could barely walk 100 feet.
Yeah.
So now I'm rucking, 2 miles is a normal workout,
That's awesome,
you know.
man. And you're talking about a year and a half. I mean, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah,
And one that's a lot of dedication because while a year and a half in a lot of ways isn't a lot of time, it's a lot of time when you're on a fitness journey. I mean, it's a long time to be committed to something to try making that progress. But at the same time, roughly 18 months, like that's incredible progress, right? Both physically and mentally, to go from, being physically limited and in a walker to being able to get out there and throw a bag on and get a couple of miles in. I mean, that's incredible. That's so worth celebrating. So I want to hear more about it. I want to hear some tips that you have, how you got there. I know Dave's going to ask about that. So let me shut up for a minute. And Dave, I know you've got some questions for Scott and his remarkable experience.
Yeah, yeah, I was just gonna say is like what are some of those tips that you have? Because I think a lot of people, you said you were on a walker, so like you even just starting 100 feet or whatever, that's a huge like people allow that to stop them from doing it. And
yeah.
like for me in the gym, like I used to go to Andy and I when we knew each other in college, we were at the gym a lot, we were doing things, but I slowly got away, and then I was like, oh, I'll go back to the gym, and then something will come up and it get me off, and I just finally said, fuck it. I'm going back, I'm gonna just carve out 10, 15 minutes each day to go back. And it sounds like you did the same thing. For some people who are having trouble getting motivated and getting started, what are some of the tips that you did like to go from that 100 feet to with a walker to like rucking now 2 miles a day? I mean, what are those tips?
Well, you kind of nailed it with one of them, like just saying fuck it. What Arnold says is don't think, just do it. So on the exercise side of things, I think that is probably the number one tip is to just don't think. Just what I would do back then because I was, it was miserable. I was in a lot of pain and discomfort, and it was a lot easier just to stay in bed. But I would think, don't think, just do it. Get up, put my shoes on, and start walking. And I would just keep saying that over and over. But number one tip: join Arnold's Pump Club.
Yeah. Nice. Nice.
And number two, if read You Can't Screw This Up by Adam Bornstein. I don't know if you've ever told him about that book.
No, we haven't gotten into it here. Adam's phenomenal book. We haven't gotten into that. You can feel free to share away.
Well, a lot of the stuff I'm going to share here is from the book, like um, because most of the weight I lost, I did it while I was 2 weeks exercise, and that was a big mistake I made in the past was trying to manage my calories and my weight loss through exercise alone and just eating whatever I wanted. You probably can relate because of the high level of fitness you have to do in the service and stuff. And I was in sports, and um, when I got sick, I blew up like a balloon because I didn't have that background of a solid diet. So diet is number one. Um, and as far as diet goes, my best tip is to eat whole foods. Like I think you talked about this in one of your last couple episodes, but single ingredient foods, because there is no enemy, but highly processed foods are designed to bypass all of our natural cues to tell us that we're full. So you eat faster and you eat more, and they're very calorie dense. Where whole foods like an apple, that is a maybe a boring example, but rice and a potato and meat, just single ingredient foods that, and you would just want to make sure a majority of what you eat is single ingredient foods because it's going to take time. At first, maybe don't keep those calorie dense, highly processed foods in the house if you can help it. If you can't help it, keep them, move them so they're in a different place from where you used to just grabbing those chips. Um, and don't beat yourself up. It's a long-term project, so you're gonna make mistakes. That's part of the program. Um, you you want to be kind to yourself. I had to be very kind to myself and learn how to be kind to myself because I'm a former Marine. I was in the infantry, played college sports, football. I'm used to a high level of pressure to perform and putting that on myself. And I couldn't do that anymore because the equivalent of a 2 hour training session, supersets, um, it took the same amount of effort to just walk 100 feet with a walker, more probably to do that. But I wasn't giving myself the credit. So, into another tip is to always celebrate your wins. So you're going to have to pace yourself and celebrate every single win.
Can I talk about that for a second? Because I think that's important because like this week was a good example. I started 219. By like middle of the week, I saw a 215 number on the scale. And I was like, yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. And then, I go through the weekend and now I'm back to 217. Instead of like my first instinct was, oh man, that I failed that week. I didn't know, but the win is, hey, I went down 2 pounds. I had a good thing. Don't let that distract me. I got 2 more pounds I can go this week. And I think people do that a lot. They beat themselves up and they use it and I think Arnold talks about this a lot. And again, I know we talk a lot about Arnold, but really get into the newsletter and stuff because it's so important to see that positivity. And that's exactly, I think, what you're talking about here is celebrating yourself and what you were able to do versus what you weren't able to do and allow that negativity to stop you from even doing the positive stuff you had been. You got out there, you spent time in the gym, you spent time out on the street, you put on your shoes. Like those are wins that you should celebrate that may lead to more wins. I think that's so important to hear.
Yeah, I mean,
Absolutely.
yeah. Go ahead, Scott. Go ahead.
Oh, absolutely, Dave. I agree. And I'm really proud of you for recognizing that so early on because I feel like most people want to sprint out of the gate.
Yep.
And if you've ever done any running, those people they get gassed really fast. So um, it's it's great that you're able to recognize that already.
Yeah, and they are big wins. I mean, seriously, 2 pounds this week is awesome. I mean, I think that is worth celebrating. And I mean, getting we were saying targeting one a week and hitting two is I think awesome. I think it is worth celebrating. But Scott, you shared so much already. I love all the tips. Can I ask? We've talked about the Pump Club. Those are for anybody who's not familiar, you've heard us talk about this a little bit, but great pre-built workouts, and now with so many more features, right? There's multiple workouts. You can customize them. You can alter them. There's so much you can do. But Scott, as you've been grinding hard, do you have a few? Dave was asking like, what are the three like favorite exercises, three core exercises? Do you have some favorite exercises, your sort of go-tos that like you love them, you get results out of them, like anything like that?
Well, my number one favorite exercise, and it it's it's surprising to me now because I never considered exercise before I joined the Pump Club.
Yeah,
Walking. It's the number one exercise that you can do, and it's great when you're starting out because it's so easy, and it's something you can do every day if you recognize that as exercise and celebrate the win, getting out and doing it. And then it's easy to add weight. So my second favorite exercise is rucking.
yeah,
And rucking with a pack, it helps you with your posture. And we're designed as human beings to carry. It's part of our evolution, and our bodies just love it and respond to it. And there's tons of benefits. You'll have to look it up. We don't have enough time to list all the benefits of
yeah.
rucking. And third is I've had a major back injury. So uh, I around that time before I got very sick, I had an emergency back surgery because I couldn't walk anymore. I was effectively paralyzed. Um, so my core exercises are core exercises. It's like doing a lot of um, um, bridging, crunches, planks, all those. And I know you said only three, but
It's good. Keep
I
going. Keep going.
I also I would throw squats in there, even just body weight squats,
Yeah,
because a lot of our bigger moves are going to work our core as well. And so, but for my back, I had to start with just those little small core movements. But if you have a healthy back, doing things like squats and deadlifts, those are going to hit the back and strengthen that back so much more and so fast.
yeah. Those are all great. Squats are just an awesome exercise. Dave, I know you got a final question here for Scott, but I would say, Scott, thank you for sharing your fitness journey. I'd love to have you back sometime to talk about the adversity you faced, with your injury, and sort of talk through that so people understand that story more if you're open to it. But we'll come back to that in, a little bit later. But Dave, I know you want to get Scott one more question in the time we have.
Yeah, just I mean, I think this has been awesome, and I think you hit on so many things that I think people just inherently struggle with, and just that again, that positive message there. Are there any closing ideas or thoughts that you have for people listening out there who are looking to get into that, the take that step or not to be discouraged or what? Any closing thoughts you have?
Yeah, yeah. First of all, again, I'm just really proud of you, Dave, for what you're doing for yourself, and I hope I know you're inspiring a lot of people. But for my closing ideas, I'd say protect and respect your body and your mind. Don't neglect your mind. We're all fighting human nature in an environment that sets the odds against us. Like I said, like that highly processed food is designed to sabotage us and bypass our natural cues to tell us we're full. So be easy on yourself with self-talk. Show yourself the same kindness that you show your friends and family, because this is a long-term project and it's very difficult. So just do the best you can each day with what you have, where you're at, and recognize every single small win along the way. I think you're doing a fantastic job of all of that, Dave, and keep it up. Don't get discouraged if the scale goes down a little bit here and there, because it will. It's part of the process.
Yeah,
It's awesome.
that's awesome. Go ahead, Andy.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, really, thanks so much for sharing so openly, about your journey, and seriously for all that you do, the Pump Club community. I mean, you're constantly pumping people up, just encouraging everyone. I love to see that. Your story is amazing. Like I said, it would be great to have you on sometime if you want to come back. One, I'd love to get part of your journey would be a great update. See where you are maybe in a few months, and as you continue to fight to be your best self, but also just to hear. I mean, the fitness is part of it, but I love stories of overcoming adversity. That's been, a continuous theme in my life is overcoming adversity. And I love to hear people that have done that. And you've done that in a pretty phenomenal way. So maybe you can come back and join us sometime and talk through sort of the injury, as a Marine, as a football player, an athlete, as a warrior that you are today, to sort of talk about the mentality that's got to go into that fight as you keep going. So maybe you'd like to join us again sometime.
I would love that. I
Yeah.
would love that. I've had a ball. This was awesome. You guys have been great. The show is great, and I'd be happy to come back and be part of it again,
All right, well, we'll set
especially for
that up.
that.
Yeah, we'll set that up. But Scott, most importantly, most important question today: how ready are you and your wife to watch the Detroit Lions win the Super Bowl this season? I mean, are you as pumped up as I am to see the Blue
It's in
do
the
it?
bag. This is our year.
This is it,
Detroit's
man.
coming.
This is it. We have a great Lions community on Threads with our One Pride community there that was celebrating the games, the victories. And so I'm going to be up there for a game later this year. I can't wait to get up there and see
Oh,
everybody
hell
live.
yeah.
So we've got lots to talk about in the weeks ahead. But thank you for joining us today. Really, thank you for sharing so candidly. Thank you for all that you do. And yeah, we'll talk offline and then we'll get you back on here. We've got a couple more conversations to have, I think. So it'll be awesome. Thanks for joining us so early in the morning. Love to kick off the week with you like this.
Thank you, fellas.
All right, man. Thanks for
Yeah,
joining us.
thanks, Scott.
Dave, how awesome was that, man? How awesome is Scott, this story?
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, just to see that from what was he say 310 down to where he's at now. I
Yeah,
mean, again, I think it's the important piece here is, he started with something small and he kept going and going. And I think that was really great. And to where he's at now, and his journey's not over, it continues. And again, I think that's the really important piece here for anybody who's listening out there and is like, I can't do it, I can't do it. I was there too. Like I couldn't like I kept saying I was going to do it, and I allowed something to come up and make. But I think the big piece of positivity was like you making sure that you take one thing today, put on those shoes and walk around the corner, walk around the block. That's a win today. And then tomorrow, do it again, but maybe go 10 feet more. And I think those are the big pieces there that I think get missed. And people want to have like this great success, overnight success. And I did too. Like I
yeah,
saw I dropped all these pounds and I was like, this is great. I'm going to be even more by the end of the week. And it didn't all, but hey, I went down 2 pounds. So, anyways, I thought it was great. Thanks for bringing them in, Andy. I think it really, and we're gonna have another one next week. So I think it'd be great. So
yeah. I love Scott's story. I love the way he shared about it. And I think you're right. I mean, there's so much there. Whether you're trying to lose 5 pounds, 10 pounds, or 100 pounds, like the challenges are not that far apart. So really great to hear Scott share. So yes, we have another guest on from the Pump Club community next week, and we'll have Scott back on to talk about
yeah.
his journey and what he's done. But Dave, as much as I loved all of that and the time we have left, then we got a couple of things we wanted to cover. Where are you taking us?
Well, I was most interested in like what like your wife's experience here, Andy. What that this is. I mean, I know where you're going to go, but please tell the listeners. I mean, for all those out there. So
Dave, this was phenomenal, right? So as I mentioned, we headed down from Virginia where we live. We live in the topmost part of Virginia. Went down with our youngest son to Florida, stopping through Florence on the way down. Got down to Orlando, came back up. A lot of driving. And yesterday, as we departed South Carolina on our journey back north, I finally got my wife to the magical world that is Buc-ee's in Florence. Dave, I mean, we pulled up. When I went there the last time and I shared about this, I went at like 6 in the morning. I pulled right in, got gas, went in. The place was, relatively empty. Didn't appreciate the insanity of a full up crowded Buc-ee's. It was like we were at a theme park, Dave. I mean, it was so packed. We got up there, the gas stations were full. We went inside, it was literally shoulder to shoulder traffic inside of the Buc-ee's as we were going through there. And my wife was just blown away by all the food, all the merch, all the
Crazy.
people. It was insane. It was insane. So we loaded up, Dave. We got brisket sandwiches.
Oh
We got
yeah.
we got some jerky. We got some treats for the road. We did nothing to help the weight loss journey. That's for sure. But we had a great time. It is such an incredible American experience. Buc-ee's, I love Buc-ee's. I love the one in Florence, Dave. I'm glad I got to go. We talked about it before, but my wife was absolutely amazed by the Buc-ee's experience. It was awesome. It was awesome.
The thing I love about it is like you don't ever have to like there's no waiting 15, 20 minutes for your
No,
food. Like
no.
they just keep pumping that shit out and they put it out there, they put it out there. And oh my God, the brisket sandwich, like you mentioned that now I
So
want
good.
to go like now to like I wish Florence was closer to us and so on. And so
And the
but that
nicest people, the staff. I mean,
oh yeah,
everyone
yeah.
you encounter, like chipper and happy and kind. Welcome to Buc-ee's. How can I, like every single person. I don't know if that's just something for Florence or if that's regular everywhere. But man, to the team running the Florence Buc-ee's, what a wonderful staff and experience that was. So really, hats off to them.
Yeah, there you go. So, all right, Andy. I mean, that's a lot. We covered a lot today on the fitness side. There's other news out there on the politics, there's sports stuff. Andy, my field goal kicker kicked the 65-yard field goal in a preseason game. That's the excitement that I've got because Trey Lance played a lot. Dak Prescott, when other quarterbacks are playing in the preseason, our
Yeah.
quarterback is not. So it's going to be great. And first 2 weeks, we're going to hear about, he's getting used to the routines and all this other stuff and I'm just tired of hearing some of that garbage. But we're closer, even still. There's some pretty good preseason observations out there, Andy, of the young Bucks getting some. Maybe making some impressive looks. I mean, but it is only preseason. Bo Nix being awesome in the preseason doesn't mean anything into the
Yeah.
regular season, but it's still fun to see. So I'm excited to see where
I am too, Dave. I
going to
mean,
go, but I don't think we can get into all of that today. Yeah.
yeah, no, I'll say coming off hours of driving, seeing the Lions beat the Chiefs by 1 point, if it isn't preseason, Jake Bates kicking it through the uprights for the win. Hey, I'll take that preseason win. I loved it. So hey, every
Yeah.
week we're a little bit closer. We got one more preseason game, Dave. We're less than 20 days away from live NFL football. I can't wait.
Yeah, I can, it's gonna be fun. It is definitely gonna be fun. So with that, Andy, this is awesome episode today. Make sure we really appreciate Scott coming on and sharing his story and sharing some tips for everybody. Let us know what you thought about it. This is the first
Yeah.
time we had a guest in. So let us know if you want to see more. I mean, I'm still waiting for Mama Jabor to pick up my interview thing, but I don't know if she's up at 5:30 in the
Oh, she's
morning.
up, Dave. She's up.
Oh, okay, hi, Mama Jabor. So, with that, Andy, we'll look forward to putting this stuff on for Wednesday, but I'll catch up with you next time.